just relish every time he would win a litigation. So that was Barry. While he was nice, he did have a lot of people that simply did not like him and claimed that he was just money hungry. In the year 2017, Barry's company Apotex was doing extremely well, and it was considered to be one of Canada's top drug manufacturing companies. Barry was known to be a workaholic, and he would often spend his nights and early mornings at the office. It was rumored that whenever Barry would go on vacation with his family, he would rarely participate in any of the fun activities and would instead choose to stay back at the house or hotel, wherever they were staying, and look over work documents. He would send emails or prepare for another round of lawsuits. While Barry did work a lot and he had a lot of money, he also worked really hard at making sure he donated a significant amount of money to worthy causes, especially causes in Toronto. In the year 2017, Honey and Barry chose to build a new home as they wanted to move closer to the city of Toronto. They were a little bit further away on the outskirts of town, and so they wanted to be closer in, as well as they had had several issues with the home that they were currently living in. And so they thought, why not build a bigger and better house? They definitely had the money to do so. So currently, Barry and Honey lived on Old Colony Road in North York, still in a very, very nice home there. The house on Old Colony Road was just over 12,000 square feet, and they listed it for $7 million in November of 2017. So that is a very, very large home. They were doing very well for themselves. While they put their house on the market, they ended up buying a property closer to Toronto where they planned to build an even larger home that was going to be around 16,000 square feet in size. So they were definitely moving up. On December 12th, still in the year 2017, Honey was scheduled to meet with the Baycrest Center Foundation board, and she was a part of their board. But for some reason, Honey did not show up to the appointment that was already scheduled with them. This was very unlike Honey at the time. For some reason, no one was able to contact Honey by phone, so they sent her an email, and she responded saying that, in her words, Sherman's home arrived there. So the four people went looking around the house. This was the interested buyers and then the two individual realtors. After seeing most of the home, the interested buyers went into a basement area to see the indoor pool that was at the Shermans' house. The realtor of the Shermans showed the interested couple where the pool was located, but she herself did not enter the pool area right away. The couple went in to the pool and then came back out to the realtor rather quickly. They said it felt odd in the pool room and that they saw the owners of the home in the pool area and something just seemed off and not right by it. The realtor of the Shermans went inside to look, and upon walking into the pool area, she saw the Shermans seemingly sitting off to the side, fully clothed. The realtor at first thought the Shermans were participating in some weird form of meditation, but as she got closer, she realized that sadly Barry and Honey were deceased. Like I said, the Shermans were clothed, but they were facing away from the pool, and they had belts attached around their necks that reached back to a railing that went around most of the pool. The realtor called the police, and an investigation began immediately. At first, there was a theory that this was possibly a murder-suicide scene. However, I don't believe that, and the police do not believe this either. They found Honey's cell phone located in a bathroom that she did not typically use, and they believed that someone had come in and attacked the Shermans. Honey had most likely run into this bathroom to call for help. The police also found that there was no sign of a break-in. However, a door to the basement was unlocked, as well as a window had been left open, since there had been a room recently painted. After investigating further, it was found that Barry and Honey both died by strangulation. There were marks on their bodies that showed that Honey and Barry had been bound by their feet and their hands at some point in time as well. After further investigation, the police believed that Honey and Barry most likely passed away on the night of the 13th of December. suspect.